believe that we have started.
Hello. Yeah. So we'll just start in another 1 minute. Hello everyone. Can you hear us? Yes, I can see a lot of people pinging back. Yes. Great. Hello everyone. Welcome to another exciting session by Digital Vidya. The today's topic is how to set up an SEO agency from scratch as a newbie. To lead this session, we have Deepak Shukla, SEO expert and founder Pearl Lemon. He is expert with track records of ranking his clients on page 1 of Google. Back in 2016, Deepak combined his SEO expertise with his entrepreneurial flair and built his SEO agency Pearl Lemon from $0 to 20K per month in less than 6 months. He has also launched two other side businesses that both became profitable within 18 months of starting. He was recently nominated for a British India Award in Young Entrepreneurs of Year category. Well, when he's not working on his business, he's training for marathon, watching movies, or playing with his cat named Jenny. With this, I welcome Deepak and thank him for his time and time for coming here and then sharing his knowledge. Thank you, Deepak, for coming in and joining me with Digital Vidya's webinar.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, and hello everybody that's listening. I'm excited to, of course, share some of my story and maybe the things that you can learn from it.
Great. So before I can hand over the session, I will just quickly, create the structure in terms of what should be the flow of entire presentation. So essentially, it's going to be 40 to 45 minutes of the presentation, followed by 10 to 15 minutes of the Q&A. So we are looking forward to a great interaction. I would request people, whatever question that you have, feel free to use chat box in replying. We will, at the end of a session, we'll take up your questions and answer those as many as possible. All right, Deepak. This stage is yours. Please take ahead the session.
Okay, brilliant. Hello, everybody. Welcome, first of all. Thank you so much for the introduction. And yeah, good afternoon, Shobit, Satyajit, Logesh. Okay, cool, good. We've got a good audience. Listen, so really, what I'm going to talk to you about today for the next 40, 45 minutes is to go through how it is that I began and really ultimately launched my SEO agency. I started a digital marketing agency 2 years ago, and we're just coming into our first year of offering SEO only. So we narrowed our services, and it's been a wild ride in the last 12 months. We've been really fortunate to win 2 awards for SEO, as well as grow the company quite significantly. And really what I want you to get from this webinar ultimately is to see how you can do the same, to see how, for those of you who are already competent in the space of SEO, for those of you who already understand how to rank a site, what the difference is between, that space of really struggling to maybe perhaps win business and ultimately being able to generate a sustainable income that can change the lives of, whether it's yourself, your family, your friends, and ultimately everybody around you. So that's what we're going to be going through today. And I am going to ultimately just check if you guys can see my screen. Can you see the PDF that I have in front of me? Let me just double check to make sure that I'm getting some yeses. Let me just see. Yes, okay, brilliant. Okay, fantastic. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to answer some questions as we go along. If I don't answer your question immediately, then don't worry, I will do my best to get it up in the end. So everybody, let's get right into it, right? I want to make this as actionable for you as possible. So let's begin. I've already told you, who I am. My family, of course, are from India. I'm based in London. My family are from Allahabad, if anyone is interested, and I was born and raised here in the UK and in London. So that's who I am. So the first thing is what I call learning from the competition. Now, the thing that everybody thinks that I mean by this is learning how you can maybe rank a business better on Google, or how you can rank better in the Google 3-pack, or some kind of variation of this. And one of the things that I quickly recognized was that actually what was just as important as that, as you know, was my ability to make sure that I could convince clients or potential clients of my value, to demonstrate to them that, you know what, I am ultimately going to deliver a service that's going to be better for you than what the competitor says. And it seemed the most sensible thing for me to do at that time was actually to have a look at what some of my competition were offering. So in the early stages of the business, the first thing that I did was, probably like many of you, I had a couple of sister websites or things that I was experimenting with. I also had, friends who had and owned small businesses. So we would very quickly reach out and email and get onto calls with a lot of competitive agencies that were doing very well, that looked like they had a sustainable business, that, were maybe listed on HubSpot or any kind of top organizational space. So, there's quite a few of these. And let me just see if I can show. Okay, that's my main screen. Okay, brilliant. So, there's spaces like, Agency Spotter is a good one. We're listed on Agency Spotter, for example, and, we have this top 50 award at the moment. But the point here that I'm trying to demonstrate is I would look at businesses who are my competitors, and then I would get on calls with them, or I'd send them questions to ask them about what they were doing. Do that with like 5 or 6 different agencies, and I quickly began to see what they did that was different from their sales process, right? Because the biggest problem that we face often as ultimately, SEO experts or even SEO newbies is our ability to win clients. And the smartest place to start is by looking at people that are already established or people that are, early stage and doing well. So what that very quickly told me and demonstrated to me was that, there were a lot of things that I could do in terms of how I position myself that was different from, other agencies. So this is what you call the SWOT is, right? So the SWOT, of course, you understand to be strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So by looking, for example, at a place like Agency Spotter, one of the fastest things that I learned was that, oh, I should be on Agency Spotter. What other websites are they listed on? So I would, for example, go to SEO Agency London, let's say, and I would pick an agency. Let's look at Goop, right? You can see Goop is the name of an agency that are in London. These guys. Let's let this page load. So this is their business, okay? And it wasn't really about their, so some of the things that I would look at would be, okay, great. So the design is very clean. They list their actual businesses that they work with at the top here. Okay, so I probably should do something like that. And what else is it that they're doing to make them look very kind of convincing? Oh, they have case studies as well. Okay, so, and they list some of the awards that they've got here. So you look at things like these, and this is one of the incredible things I began to find with a lot of agencies that were kind of struggling, that they wouldn't have necessarily case studies on their website. They wouldn't have the logos of businesses on their website. And they wouldn't have, for example, any of the awards that they may have won. Now, it's not really just even about this site here. What I'd also do is I'd be like, okay, Goop, let me see what else is important to Goop when I Google Goop. Let's just see what they're doing or how they're doing. So, they have 12 Google reviews. Interesting. They have, what else do they have? So they're on, let me have a look. They're on Crunchbase. They're on LinkedIn, fine. They're on Glassdoor. They haven't got an excellent rating on Glassdoor, but they have 5 reviews on Glassdoor. And I would continue and do this with every SEO agency, not every, but maybe 4 or 5. And very quickly, what this meant is that if you just look at Pearl Lemon now, one of the things that has been very helpful to me as companies, of course, I engage with them, they notice that, wow, I've never seen an SEO agency with 67 Google reviews. I've never seen an SEO agency with 28 votes on Facebook, 8 votes on Yelp, 12 reviews on Glassdoor. So there's all these stars, Yelp, right? There's all these stars and stripes, as I call it, that you can see. Now, I appreciate, of course, that I'm logged in, but the point is that there is lots of low-hanging fruit Trustpilot, 47 reviews, right? So when people look at Pearl Lemon above the fold, if we go into incognito and have a look again, you'll notice, remind me later, that the first thing that people look when they see above the fold is that we've got our Trustpilot ratings, we've got our Google review ratings, we're using Google My Business to post some content, we've got our Glassdoor ratings. So the immediate impression that you get is that this is a company that's trustworthy. So these are some examples of what I mean by doing your SWOT and how powerful it can become when you begin analyzing what other companies do and begin to copy the best elements of what I'd call their sales processes to make sure that when you go out and start pitching for work, you look like an established agency, you look like you've got lots of reviews and testimonials and a lot of these things. Let me quickly go and check if there's any questions. Someone's from Allahabad. And can you all hear me very quickly? Because someone said they can't hear my voice. Please let me know, and let me just quickly check what people are saying. Bear with me. Okay, perfect. So you can hear me. Okay, all right, perfect. So so someone has quickly asked, I see many friends using Glassdoor to find out how good a company is. So here's the important point about any of these sites, right? What's important about Glassdoor, about Trustpilot, is people's perception, right? A busy business owner will get told very similar things from every agency, right? And this is the big problem that I discovered, is that every agency will say, we can get you, page 1 Google rankings. We can get you, and let's go back to here. We can get you page 1 Google rankings. We can, in fact, let me just open this up for you guys for a second. These are the same things that ultimately every agency will say. We'll get you page 1 Google rankings. We'll do it, it will be, I don't know, it will be white hat. It will be, safe, effective. We'll send you reports. Now, the problem with all of these things, I quickly realized, is that everybody is saying the same thing. Everybody says the same thing. So how is it as a business that I can really demonstrate that I'm different? And this is where all of this stuff becomes incredibly powerful, because then, and of course, Goop, the other agency that I made reference to, they're a bigger agency than us, right? They've probably been around a few years and all of these kinds of things. But then what's interesting, if you compare Goop to, for example, Pearl Lemon, the reason that we've been able to grow to over £260,000 revenue in our second year is we are able to win trust a lot easier than almost every other agency because of all of these reviews. So that's where a lot of this stuff becomes incredibly powerful with doing your SWOT and recognizing what is it that I can do to make me sound different, because everybody is saying this. Every agency says the same thing. So how can I truly determine that you as a company are any different? So that's the next thing to consider. So once you've, of course, looked at a company like Goop, or even look at a company like Pearl Lemon, you can begin building your list of actions, right? So actions are, okay, get listed on Trustpilot, get listed on Google Reviews, get listed on Glassdoor, get listed on Crunchbase, get listed on Facebook, get listed. And what I also did to make sure that, I covered every space was that I looked at 3 or 4 different agencies and I copied every website that they were on in terms of their profile, right? Because a busy business owner really, a lot of the time as SEOs, what we can't rely upon in the beginning. So what I could not do day one as an SEO agency owner was wait for my website to rank and then for businesses to reach out to me, okay? And especially looking at a keyword like, SEO company London, which we're beginning to look at ranking for right now, but we're on, we're number 50 or 45 or something, and there's all of these companies running ads, and it's of course a very competitive space, so it would take some time to actually rank there. So I thought that once I do get to speak to people, I need to demonstrate at least in one way that I'm different. And this is what the list of actions refers to, that I've given people this type of advice before, but what's been really strange is that people don't often act upon it. So do please, I encourage you, and this doesn't even need to relate to an SEO agency. You might be a copywriter. You might run a digital marketing agency that's full service. You might do any number of things. And the truth is that, you know, you really should begin building reviews, case studies, and testimonials. So that's just something really matters. So the other question that I have got is, what's the full form of SWOT? So that's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. If you just have a look at the strengths of 5 different agencies, you can very quickly copy those things that they do and then mark yourself out as a really good agency. So that's one of the questions. Value addition for my brand, we'll come back to that later. Having a good or below average office matters to build trust. So guys, I work from home. Okay, so if you look at Pearl Lemon, we've got, of course, a virtual address, which I pay maybe, you know, £50 a year or £60, which I don't know how much that is in rupees, but, you know, it's probably 70, 80 US dollars. I pay just to have the address. So, and I pay to have the phone number, of course. So, you know, from my perspective, what helps is having all of these other things and building trust. And I do give the impression, if people look at our photos, that, you know, here's an agency, this is a stock image, this is a stock image. People can probably tell it's a stock image, but many people don't really, you know, if someone is looking at every element of your site, they probably don't have much budget anyway, so they're not going to be the best client. The busy business owners will just look at some of this stuff. So that's one of the other important things. So let's just keep going back to the list of actions. So that's a list of actions, okay? So this is obviously what I've made reference to: case studies, testimonials, and reviews. Now, the important thing here to realize, because some of you may say, well, Deepak, that's easy for you to say, you know, I'm a newbie, I don't have any case studies, I don't have any testimonials, I don't have any reviews. And this is the thing that people often, you know, don't really appreciate. If you give someone advice for free, so let's say your friend, your friend Raj, or your friend, you know, me, your friend Deepak, let's say that you give me some advice. If you give me some advice for free and I say, you know what, thank you so much, Dodika, thank you so much, Brachi, I really appreciate the advice. You can say, you know what, could you do me a favor, please? And I'll say, definitely, what would you like? I'd say, can you leave me a review? Can you give me a testimonial? Because that is something that is easy for me to do as an individual and really helps you build some of your social proof. So that's the simple way that you can build reviews, testimonials, and then case studies. The order in which I did this was testimonials about me as a character, what people that know me think of me. So they'd write character-based testimonials on Google, on Trustpilot. Then as I began to give some people free advice, they'd write reviews saying, I had a consultation with Deepak and he gave me some excellent advice as to how I can help get into the Google 3-pack. And then, of course, once I begin winning clients, then you can get case studies. So that is the order in which I'd recommend doing this: reviews, testimonials, reviews in a circular order. And then once you begin winning clients, you can, of course, begin building some case studies. So I hope that makes sense. And yes, so someone are asking, well, how do we actually use these testimonials? How do we use these case studies and reviews? Look, the really important thing is that when you do some outreach, you know, I get emails, for example, from SEO agencies. I'm sure so do you. You know, I get LinkedIn messages from SEO agencies. I'm sure so do you. You use them as part of your sales pitch, because when you do your sales pitch now, what you can also say is that we have 50 plus 5-star reviews on Google. We have, you know, 17 testimonials. We have, you know, and this part, right? This part really is the part that, let me just, that's not working very well, is it? Hold on, give me a second. There you go. Okay, so this part is a part that not many agencies will be able to say, not many people will be able to say. And I look at that, and that tells me that, well, you must be better than ordinary business, because everyone else is saying this, but you're the only guys that are saying this. So that's how a lot of this can become powerful. Okay, brilliant. So let's just keep kind of going. Right, so then it's profile building time. Okay, so let me really explain what I mean by profiles. Let me just quickly check if there's any more questions before I continue to the next section. Let's have a look. Right, let's have a look. How to use testimonials. Are these reviews or testimonials on your website? So no, these reviews, I always get reviews on third-party websites, and then you can screenshot it and put it on your website. So reviews I get on Trustpilot, I get on Yelp, I get on Yelp. You know, there's many review sites. Have people write the review there, because then you can always paste it in. So that's what I'd recommend there. How much assistance do you require initially? Just wanted to know whether or not someone requires a team. In the first 2 months, it was myself. There was no one else. I focused upon making my agency, even though really it was just me, look like a complete business. So what I did in that period was I went out and gave people free advice. Even if it was a 20-minute phone call, I'd then get them to give me a testimonial or to write a review. I focused upon making and positioning my business to look different from everybody else's on the basis of what I saw about the other agencies. Same thing on my website, right? If you go to, and we're, you know, in the, hold on, you know, same thing with the website in that, you know, once I got these reviews, there's a free course on my site, by the way, as well, about how I built my agency in some more depth. So feel free to go there and take a look. But if you look on pearllemon.com, you'll notice that I made sure that I got the logos on the website anywhere I'd featured in. I made sure that I got the reviews. Now these testimonials are just stuff I pasted in from Google reviews, etc. And then of course, as I grew, I began to put in my case studies. And you'll also notice that I do a lot of videos. Videos build trust. Videos massively build trust. So I made sure that where and when I could, I'd get people to record video testimonials. And then if you go to see more, another thing that a lot of businesses don't do, I have my SEO case studies. Now these need to have thumbnails that are improved, but as you can imagine, when a business sees this stuff, it becomes so much more powerful because no other companies seem to be doing it. So I hope that answers that question there. Is it a matter of testimonials from valid source? Yes, valid. I mean, guys, you know, I don't have any fake testimonials. The thing that you could do is get character testimonials. So if you've not yet delivered SEO advice, you could simply ask a friend who knows you and knows your marketing skills to say, you know what, I've known Puneet for several years now, and I recognize he's just setting up his agency. And what I can say is that he has been an excellent digital marketer, and I've seen him do amazing things on Instagram. So I expect every success for him within SEO. So that's still accurate. It's not fake, and it is a realistic. Are we displaying our numbers? Yes, you can. Thanks. LinkedIn, Glassdoor, could be paid ones, right? Yeah, guys, so there's a couple of you that are asking, can we get paid reviews? So I've never paid for a review. I've just reached out to people that trust me, that know that I've done good work in the past, in the beginning. And then I began to offer free advice. And then after that, of course, it becomes easier to get paid clients. Biggest challenge, how do you get your first client without any previous work experience? Right, guys, stop. There's lots of questions here, so I'm gonna yes, exactly. So the focus at the beginning is to get a ton of testimonials, because you can, right? People just think that you need to fake it, which is not what I recommend you do, because then there's other issues with Google compliance and Trustpilot. And just give people some free advice. You know, a 20-minute phone call, 5 20-minute phone calls once, you know, in a week, and you've got 5 reviews. You can ask that same person to write a review on Facebook. You can ask the same person to write a review on Yelp and all of these other things. So then it becomes very powerful. If you're a freelancer, you can still do the same thing with, you know, I have, and I'm still in the process of getting it up, but, you know, I have a Trustpilot for myself as a person, right? So you could go to deepakshukla.com and I'll be like, look, this is me, I've got 14 reviews. I did the same thing on my Facebook like page, which I don't see many other businesses doing, because sometimes people say, well, okay, Niraj, I see this is your business, but I'm working with you. So who the frick are you, and can I trust you, etc. And if we go to reviews as well on here, you'll see that, you know, I have 20 people that have leave reviews about me, most helpful, most recent. So it really does help win clients, because they just immediately trust you. And the biggest problem that a lot of us have with, you know, working, especially if you're, for example, from India, and the reality is you want to work with someone who's in England, unfortunately, some people have a negative perception. You know, I have three of my team in India, and they're amazing, but there's a stereotype that some people in the West have, and by building these things, you can really negate that. So let's move on to profile building, okay? These are the three spaces that I worked on and worked hard to actually grow my business. We're going to talk about the lowest hanging fruit first, which is LinkedIn, okay? Many of you have a LinkedIn account, and I'm going to, again, show you some of the things that I've done that are different to, and let me just close this and give me a second. Perfect. Okay, and let me open up a new one so it's easier to work with. No, actually, you know what? Let's just go into Firefox. Just going to quickly show you some things so you can really just see some simple differences between my LinkedIn account following the same principle and other people's, okay? So I'm going to open up my account, and I'm going to open up another account, someone else's. I'm going to search for SEO agency or SEO expert or something. SEO. People. Okay, so we've got Taboran Octavian, we've got Brian Minter, we've got Valentina Dorofis. Okay, so I just want to run some quick comparisons. Now, remember what I said about doing a swap, right? Looking at other people's profiles and having a look at what you could do differently. I'm going to show you some quick things. So Brian does not have a cover image. Valentina does not have a cover image. Brian is not smiling and is not looking friendly. Valentina is kind of smiling, but she isn't really, and she's not looking straight at the camera. Taboran has a cover image, but his cover image is strange. Are you afraid to invest in SEO because you don't know if it will work? He should finish by saying, let's talk. Something like that, like a call to action, but he doesn't. His cover image is good, but the profile picture is a bit too small. I want to just have, as you can see with me, a nice smiling face. And then I've got, of course, Deepak Chopra. Now mine could be better, definitely, but it says SEO expert, adventurer, etc. What you'll also notice is in his title, he has SEO expert and nothing else. In Brian Minter's title, SEO expert, specialist, lead generation, online. So this for me is like, okay, so you do everything. So he, you know, it kind of takes away from the SEO expert side of it. Valentina has SEO expert, growth manager. That's a little bit better. Now look at my profile. I have founder because I know that people search the keyword founder on LinkedIn. I have emojis because it just looks nice. I have award-winning SEO agency. I have dozens of page one Google rankings. Do you see already how different that is, right? Do you see how different that is? So remember what we discussed when I said about the swap? Guys and girls, the principles are the same. Look at the best profiles on LinkedIn, which is what I did, and start to copy the best parts and then improve it, okay? So I began to do the same thing, right? And if you just very quickly, if I walk you through my profile, you'll notice that I have a filled out section at the top. I have rich media. I have filled out profiles here with rich media. I have all the skill, you know, I have my SEO skill and endorsement. I have lead generation. That could be better. It's only 4. Public speaking, 82. And look how many recommendations I have. I have 75 recommendations. I asked everybody, friends, family, people that I work with just once. I've given 80 recommendations, as you can see. So I've actually given more than I've received, okay? So LinkedIn has become hugely powerful for me for winning clients, and it has really helped with, for example, SEO on LinkedIn. So if I just show you some examples, I'm going right into my inbox right now, okay? So look, this is a message that I got. Let me just see if I can expand my screen. This is a message that I got at 10:33 a.m. this morning. The time here in London is 10:57. So I got this message whilst we were on the webinar. Hi, Jeremy, Deepak from Pearl Lemon near Liverpool Street. So Liverpool Street is in central London. This is a virtual office address, remember. It's not where I live. I live not here. I wrote this because it shows that I'm a big agency. The team are based between Australia, India, as well as London. I've written award-winning SEO agency, and I just ask, can we connect? So I don't ask to sell. I just say I just want to connect. Jeremy has responded saying, thanks for the message. I appreciate that. I'd love to chat to you. Can you talk next week? What agencies are you work with? So look, that's an excellent message. And I've got many of these messages, okay? That was someone who I directly reached out to, and I'll show you some of the Laura Faint. Okay, perfect. So this is someone who reached out to me, Laura. I'm writing from AJ and Smart. They found us on Basic. I came across your profile and I'm wondering if you'd want to discuss in more detail. They've been a client of ours now for maybe 4 or 5 months. And all of this stuff came through LinkedIn, and because I worked to build the profile. So the principles of this on LinkedIn are exactly the same across any profile that you build. And you'll notice that most people, I'm going to be really honest, most people for whatever reason are lazy. They don't put the actual work in to build your profiles. They just go out and start messaging people. And then people look at you and think, well, you know what, Valentina? You know what, Brian? You look like everybody else. There's nothing that looks special about you. So I probably won't respond. So let me just go in now. Sorry, come back to here. And let me just come back in and see if there's any questions from you guys that are still coming through. Right. Okay. Yes. So don't force your ideas on others. Just show that you're basically, doing well, that you're in, a major city. You can buy a virtual office address. Show that, I mean, we've been award winning, but you don't need to put that. Just be open and say, hey, I'd just love to connect. And then you can follow up later, or you can leave it for them to respond to you. It's just going to work when you're new in the industry. Don't have so many reviews and feedback. So if you're new in the industry, Gargan, then in 1 month, you can talk to 20 people and give them some SEO advice, right? Then you can get 20 reviews. So then you might be new to the industry, but you've got 20 reviews. So I would look at that and think, wow, you've got 20 reviews. Even SEO agencies with 10 employees and doing £1 million a year don't have 20 reviews. Can we get your slides? If yes, how? Yep, I'll leave that for the guys at Digital Video to share with you. Putting smileys really work. So smileys are pattern interrupts, right? It's all about showing people that you're different. Now, you might not want to use smileys, but I do use them because people just notice it, right? Just like you see in Facebook chat. Yes, issues with the audio. Specify the names of the SEO tools you're using. I use SEMrush, the Guru plan. We have an Ahrefs account, and then I use some of the free tools from AppSumo, which are SERPstat and SE ranking. I use Nightwatch for rank tracking. I think they're the main tools, and then of course just your usual Google Analytics, Google Search Console, these kinds of things. Okay, sure. All right, so I'll keep going through with the presentation. Right, so guys, the same principle about LinkedIn applies also to Upwork. I'm going to show you the same thing. Let me just log into my Upwork. So here's my profile. Again, you will notice now, and I hope you begin to see some of the consistencies between what I'm doing. So notice SEO expert, but page 1 rankings, growth hacker, lead generation. I could probably improve that, right? Dozens of page 1 rankings, growth hacker, award winning, right? And then what you do is you go to Emojipedia. So I want to show you how simple some of this stuff is. Grab that emoji, your title, okay, lead gen. So they're not letting me. So as you can see, sometimes things like this happen, of course. Oh, well, it seems to have errored, but then we could just do SEO. Look at that. Okay, they don't seem to want to let me do it. But the point is that you can use emojis here, right? I have a video here, as you can see, there's a video. Many other people don't have video, so I looked at all of the best profiles and I thought, what can I copy? These are just my case studies. I just put big images because people are busy, and then if they want to click into it, they can, but you notice it, and it's not even designed very well. I filled in all of the parts of the profile. I added my certification, so I took a hard 1.5 months. In the first 2 months, I spent all this time building profile history. I put my employment history, education, other experiences, And as you can see, all of this stuff becomes extremely powerful when you want to really build excellent profiles. So wherever you're listing your profile, okay, whether it's, you know, whether it's, let's go into here, let's go new page. Whether it's LinkedIn, you know, whether it's, I don't know, agency spotter, whether it's Clutch, whether it's Yelp, wherever, you know, build excellent profiles. Just most people don't, okay? The reality is that most people just get lazy and they don't do this. This has been hugely key in positioning myself as an expert. I think it's what's helped us win awards. It's what helped us do many, many things. Okay, brilliant. Let's keep going. So yeah, cool, cold email. So guys, you know, so cold email has been a big way that I've grown the agency. I'm very sure that you're familiar with cold email. That's the course that I make reference to on the website. If you want to obviously go and get it, there's a link at the top and you can get the free information. So what I'm not going to get into kind of cold email, right? Because I think that I hope that many of you understand the process of cold email. If you don't, then you know there's a link at the top of my on Pearl Lemon or here. But my point I'm trying to make is that when you start sending out cold emails, imagine if you can say these things and you can link to a profile that is excellent online. You sound so much better. It's the same reason why on LinkedIn, as I showed you, I can say Deepak from Pearl Lemon near Liverpool Street. So I'm targeting businesses in London, and Liverpool Street in London, if you have an office near Liverpool Street, it means that you're a successful company. That's what people understand. And that's what my office is listed online, right? So positioning, award-winning SEO agency with over 100 plus Google reviews, for example. Now imagine if you write those things in a cold email. Imagine if you write those things in a cold email. We have won a lot of work from cold email because, again, you know, you need to sound different and look different using these things and using these things from any other agency that exists online. So I hope that that makes sense in the sections in terms of profile building. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of value, right? So when I say value, the biggest thing when you talk to someone that potentially happens is that, again, everyone's saying the same thing. So, you know, someone might say, okay, so if you approach me, I'd say, okay, you know, okay, Hitesh, how can you help me? And you'll say, well, I'll get page 1 Google rankings. I'm going to do white hat. I'm going to do safe and effective. I'm going to do reports. You know, that's basically what everyone says, right? So what can you say that's different outside of this? The next thing to consider is that, and let's just expand this, connect SEO with their goals, with their revenue goals. So the number one thing that I don't do when I get onto a call at first, or get onto even email chat or Facebook chat or LinkedIn chat, is that, get this, right? I don't talk about SEO, right? I don't. You know why? Business managers, marketing managers, anyone else, they're only ultimately interested in SEO to increase their revenue. That's what they want to do. This is why they want SEO. This was what occurred to me that I see that most agencies still don't do, is that they don't talk about, look, you know, Frank, George, Adam, Hitesh, Himal, whoever it is, right? I understand that my goal is to use SEO to increase your revenue, and then you will work with me forever, because it just makes sense, right? That's what really I want to help you guys achieve. Saying something like that to start with is so powerful. It's so powerful because you're talking about value. You're not talking about, you know, the operations. Operations is we're going to do some link building, we're going to do citations or guest posts or whatever it is, whatever word that you want to use, but not enough people talk about SEO to increase revenue, because any business owner will stick with any company who helps increase their revenue. Okay, that is really what happens, and this is how ultimately in the end we've been allowed the time to, if I go to case studies, this is how we've been able to outrank Wonga in the payday loans to drive $120,000 in additional revenue. You know, there's interviews and proof here and stuff, and also to 32 plus positions. Oh yeah, but when you start connecting ultimately, you know, SEO to increasing in revenue, then you sound different to everybody else, because it's like you care, it's like you understand, because, you know, no one cares about, this is going to be a bit, you know, controversial, no one cares as much about SEO as they do about revenue, profits. If you connect your work with this, then you will sound different from every other agency out there. So hopefully that makes sense about selling on value. I'm going to talk about energy in a second. I'm just going to very quickly jump in and see if anyone's got any quick questions. Wow, there's lots issues with the audio. Are you doing Black Hat SEO? No. Just quickly, can everyone still see me and hear me okay? Just a quick yes will do. Yes, okay, brilliant, brilliant. Wow, there's you can stop now. Okay, brilliant. Any tips on getting profiled? Okay, all right. So right, I'm going to keep going. Right, there's lots of questions here, but I'm going to answer a lot of them at the end. We're getting towards the end. The other thing that I think that you'll notice that I do, guys, is that I'm quite energetic. So what I mean by energetic is that I'm quite loud. I smile in my profile pictures. I talk and I raise my voice a little bit. One of the other things that I noticed, and this is not perhaps that easy for everybody to replicate. Well, it is, okay, and I'm going to explain. One of the other things, and I'm going to just show you my WhatsApp to demonstrate, is that energy is a big thing, right? People work with enthusiastic people. You know, we always like to work with someone who says, hey man, I'm going to do this for you. And a lot of businesses, a lot of people are very like, I'm going to help you. And there's a big difference between saying I'm going to help you and I really want to help you win. I really want to see your business succeed. Do you see how different that is? And, you know, energy, when you talk, when you email, when you write, is such a big thing, because again, most of your competition are, so yeah, I'd love to help you win. Most of your competition just sound boring and they sound very stale. They sound very normal. So energy is a big thing. And for those of you who worry that, well, Deepak, I'm not going to, you know, shout and scream. I don't expect you to shout and scream. Or Deepak, I'm a bit shy. I'm a bit quiet. I'm a bit nervous, or any of these things. I want to show you my, WhatsApp. So I'm trying to find, so look, do you see that you can use emojis in text? So emojis in text. So one of the other things that you could do is use emojis like this. And you know, there's lots of ways around. Let me just close that out again. There's lots of ways around, you know, not having the ability or not being comfortable with being energetic over the phone. You can do it on email. You can do it using GIFs. You know, you can use it doing. You can use it with GIFs, memes, and emojis, right? So, you know, or you can use it with punctuation, which is this stuff, right? This stuff, this stuff, this stuff, you know? These demonstrate energy if you're worried about not doing it over the phone or in person. Cool. So, right, the final thing is to find clients with budget and to sell clients with budget. And this was something that I had to learn through some of the mistakes I made in the early days about working with businesses that, you know, don't have that much money. So I won't get too much into this, but you know, make sure when you do outreach, you can't control what happens inbound, but you can control outbound, right? Meaning people that you reach out to. So the simple ways with this is that, you know, when I do LinkedIn outreach. I use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to make sure that search for people. Give me a second. I'm just going to bring this up. Search for Sales Navigator. You know, for any of those who aren't familiar with LinkedIn Sales Navigator, this is LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and the simple thing that I do is I just go to company headcount. Anyone who's self-employed or 1 to 10, I don't target them. I do 11 to 50, and I do 51 to 200. Okay, you could do bigger still if you want to, but you know, there's 44 million results here. Do make sure that you look at companies that have budget. So that's how you can very simply run a check on LinkedIn, right? On Upwork, if you go to find jobs, and again, I didn't do this in the early days. In the beginning, I just looked at businesses that were looking for SEO. But if I search SEO, you can see I've applied, you know, my assistant applies for jobs for me. But if I just zoom in, sorry, let me zoom out again. What you'll notice is that 10K spent, this person has budget. $100 spent, this person does not have budget. $1,000 spent, possibly has budget. $0, $20,000 spent, they've got budget. $30,000 spent, they've got budget. $10,000 spent, they've got budget. $0 spent, they probably, you don't know if they've got budget, they're new to the platform. So that's what I mean about focusing upon, and I've got invitations to interview. That happens when you become top rated. I'll deal with that later. I hope that makes sense about finding clients budget and selling clients with budget. So they are the ideas that I think are really important to growing your SEO agency as a newbie. I hope that all of that has made sense. All of this stuff, the PDF will get shared with you. And yeah, now I'd absolutely love to take some questions. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, Deepak, so there is a small poll. While we are taking questions, people are writing, and I just want to host a poll. So, right?
Perfect. Shall I wait for you with the poll?
You can keep on answering questions. I will just.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Okay, guys, I'm going to start answering questions, and I'm just going to go through them as quickly as I can so that everyone at least feels like they've got their question answered. So the first question is, can I just check, can everybody still hear me? I know that the screen's been taken over. Let me see. Yeah, okay, perfect. So I got a yes, no problem, no problem. I'm going to very quickly go through and start answering. How to rank an e-commerce website above Amazon. Ranking above Amazon is very hard. You could potentially rank a particular product above Amazon, but it's a complex situation. It depends upon the product, and I'd say that for now we need to get into a deeper discussion. But it's possible for specific products if you can build links to them, of course. How did you start your SEO organization? It started in October of 2016 as a digital marketing agency. I then won an SEO client from Upwork in September of 2017. That client is still with me, and from there I decided that SEO was the area that I'd like to focus on because it scaled better. But I started at home. I used to live with my mum, and I worked from my bedroom, and that was really how I started. How do you charge customers? I charge customers upfront. I take payments upfront. I don't do any results only. I don't do any payment upon completion. How am I able to do that? I have videos. I have 100+ case studies or reviews and testimonials. People trust me because I've got so much content online. So it's very much easier to say, this is how I work. How to fix your charges? That's a complicated question. I'd say that, you know, your ability to charge more will depend upon the results that you've got, your sales pitch, and if you can demonstrate that you want to connect, you know, their goals with your work as an SEO with, you know, their return on investment. So the more I spoke, less I spoke about technical SEO, and the more I spoke to a business owner or a marketing manager about understanding they're going for growth, the better that I did. People that ask you lots and lots and lots of technical questions typically tend to be businesses that are running on a budget. And that was what I dealt with in the first few months, because in the beginning, I think it's important to take what you get. Don't take everything and anything to build your reviews and case studies and slowly climb up. Can you share your Google #1 ranking query or keyword. Yeah, sure. So I don't know. This is my girlfriend's Pilates. I'm just gonna check if you guys can still see me. Yeah, sure. Okay, brilliant. So we started ranking this maybe 2 months ago. Pilates Fulham. I think this works. She's just gone out of the Pilates. Hello. Pilates classes Fulham. Let's try that. Okay, well, that's not a greatest start, but anyway, Pilates classes Fulham is just one example, and there is my partner's studio here, La Dolce Studio. That's just one example. I think, let me just try and remember what there is here. Design Sprint. AJ Small is there. Oh, there's some variation around this design. Okay, now hold on. Design Sprint Masterclass maybe. Yeah, okay, Design Sprint Masterclass. These guys are position 1 at the moment. Qualtex balloons, is it? I think. Let me just have a look. Go. Oh, sorry. Let me just. Yeah, these guys go international. They're further down page 1, but they are there. Where are they? There they are. Sorry. So that's those guys. So I hope that helps, just to give you some examples quickly. Let me just keep going through the questions that we have. Give me a second, guys. How big is your team? So Samil, Achit, Raj, 3, Ali, 4, Abdul, Dean, 5, me, 6, 7. There's 7 of us. 7. I joined the webinar just now. Can we get the recorded version? Yeah, I'm sure the recorded version will be charged. Will be sent to you. How do you find the time to manage all these tools, increase SEO, and do interviews? I went as quickly as I could from business development into from SEO into business development. So I don't implement most of the SEO that we do today because I can't grow the business then. I can't share my information with you guys. If you're going to grow your business, there is no way that you can do the implementation, because otherwise, of course, you get stuck doing directory listings, broken link building, blogger outreach, and all of these kinds of things. So my focus today is on business development. You should be a motivational speaker. Thank you. Please send this video. What software is that? SEO tools to learn to get to expert in SEO. Guys, I think that really it's just about, content. I learned from a combination of blog posts, from YouTube videos, from Udemy videos. I bought a couple of paid courses on GetLink, Brian Dean. I started learning about SEO probably 5 years ago when I just put ads up on classified ad sites and then played with the keywords, and just a combination of all of these things. There's no one de facto place. If I ever, of course, launch something, I'll let you know. But the guys at Digital Vidya probably have something for you to become an expert that they can help you with. Can you show me some of your clients' work? It's all on Google, YouTube. So of course, I've got like lots of case studies on YouTube. I've got my Facebook reviews, Google reviews. If you want to research, go and do some work. Right, guys, I think that, let me see if there's any more questions just at the bottom. Can you share the tools to use for rankings of your business? So SEMrush, Ahrefs, tracking, I use nightwatch.io. Obviously Google Analytics, Google Search Console, tools for rankings of the business. Then you could use stuff like Moz Local or Yext for Google local map citations. Reputation management is important, getting the Google reviews. There's of course a whole range of things, the high DA sites that you can get do follow links on, etc. So nothing that I'd have the time to show you that's crazy right now. How is work distributed in the SEO company? Melanie, who's in the United States, she works on content. So she does content to make sure that any of the metadata, that anything that comes out, for example, from India is native English. That's often the problem sometimes that you guys might struggle with, that there's this perception that people have in the West that because you're not a native English speaker, therefore your SEO is not going to be good. I know that your SEO ability is going to be excellent, right? However, it is fair to say that while you're not native English, so there might be some issues. You can solve that issue by hiring someone to be a content writer. You just need to find a 22-year-old student from the United States, from New Zealand, or from South Africa, anywhere that's native English that isn't too chargeable, just to edit your metadata, to edit some of the content that you produce. how to buy an address to work from home. You can Google virtual address India, virtual address Bombay, virtual address Allahabad, whatever you want to do, and I'm sure you can find one. That's what I did. I just Googled it, emailed a few companies, got the best price, bought it, off you go. Any advice is how to become an expert at content. Same thing as before, YouTube, Udemy, blog posts, courses, and then just trying stuff. Right, guys, I imagine that there'll be other questions, but I hope that that's all of the answers for the moment. If you've got any more, I'm sure the guys at Digital Vidya will be able to help support you or perhaps forward them to me. And if anybody, of course, wants to get in touch with me, deepakshukla.com, Pearl Lemon, and you know, I'm around. Thank you so much, everybody.
Great. Deepak, thank you so much for your time, valuable knowledge that you have shared. And, you really vouch the kind of energy that you have bring in the entire, the session which was there. So it was really very interacting and we got to learn a lot of stuff from you. Before we end the, webinar, I would request each one of you who've been a wonderful participant to just rate ourselves so that whenever we come with the next set of training webinars, we can actually really address those concerns and really work out to come up with a better version of the webinars and everything.
Absolutely. I'm happy to, if there's lots and lots and lots of questions, I'm happy to come back on again and maybe run through some of them potentially. And also, guys, in the honor of what I said, if you find anything from Digital Vidya online, give them a rating, and please do also give me a rating on, Facebook reviews. You can look for Deepak Shukla or Trustpilot Deepak Shukla, and leave a review for Digital Vidya as well, saying what you thought about us. That'd be absolutely amazing.
All right. I think we've got amazing feedback. So, great, amazing. So here we'll close the session. And I will really like to thank you, Deepak, for being a part of this particular session. And I thank every one of you for joining this session and learning with us. Hope to see you with the next webinar when we'll come up.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much again.
Thank you so much.
Hey, dude. Are you still there?